Yo, welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron. I'm a wedding photographer based in North Carolina. And on today's video, I'm going to show you how I personally shoot a wedding ceremony. This is from pretty much start to finish. You'll be able to see everything I do, from the processional to the speeches to the recessional to everything. All right. So this is going to be jam-packed for you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. For this wedding, I had my trusty A7IVs with my Viltrox 35mm 1.2 and Viltrox 85mm 1.4 and my Coiro harness to hold them all together. All right. So one thing I want y'all to keep in mind when it comes to shooting wedding ceremonies is not to overthink it. The things are just going to be happening. All you got to do is capture the things as they happen. All right. So when a bridal party walks down, really what's going on in my mind, I'm like, well, I just need one good shot of each and every pairing that comes down. All you need is one. And if you get one, you're good. Now, what I like to do a lot of times is I'll take a shot on my 85 and then I'll switch and get a shot on my 35 as well, just so I have some variety to choose from. Now, if they're both good, then I might deliver both. But typically, I'm only looking for one good shot. And of course, you gotta make sure you capture the dap that the groomsmen and the groom do. Again, just making sure you're trying to capture things as they happen. Don't overthink it. Just when you see something, shoot it. If it ends up not looking good, you don't have to deliver it, but you might as well have a lot of variety to choose from than not enough. And sorry that you can't see anything right here, but I had to get really low because the ring bearers and the flower girl were coming down. So I had to make sure I got on their level so I can get a good shot of them. Now it's kind of funny, the flower girl at this wedding, she had the flowers, but she didn't put them on the ground. I think she got a little bit nervous, but you know, that was a little funny. Now we had to wait a little bit because something was off, so I had to make sure I get a shot of the groom, but the DJ didn't get the cue to start playing the bride song, so I had to skip forward a little bit because there was a solid minute where we were just sitting in silence because the DJ didn't get the cue. But this is where it's game time. This is where it's really important. The bride is walking down. So this is how I personally shoot the bridal entrance. So I'm going to get a shot of the groom first because she's not really in frame yet. So I'm going to get a shot of him because he doesn't really see her yet. And he's kind of anticipating. Now they did do a first look, so it's not like so much anticipation, but now the bride's in frame. So I'm going to take a shot of her. And again, I'm gonna say this a bunch, just shoot things as they happen. Don't think about it too much, okay? So get a couple shots of the bride. Now with the bridal party, like I said, I'm only trying to get one good shot of each, but for the bride and the groom reaction, I'm actually trying to get a bunch because I want them to have more than not. So I get a shot of his reaction in the landscape, and I also get a shot of his reaction in the vertical. And then now that the bride's coming down, she's closer, I'm gonna switch to my 35 and get a shot of her at a wide angle. And then now that they're at the front, they're gonna do their handoff. And so again, capture the handoff. Like I said, you're just capturing things as they happen. So get a shot of the handoff, it's very important. And then from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let them walk down to the altar, and I'm just gonna go to the middle of the aisle. And I will sit and live in the middle of the aisle for most of the ceremony. I do kind of roam around the sides just a bit. You'll see here in this wedding how I did it. So two things that I always do. Well, so you see now that they're praying. I don't know if it's just me, but when there's prayers happening at a wedding, I will never take pictures. I don't know why. I just feel like, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything. So, and sometimes I'll be praying with them too, you know, just depends. But a lot of times when they're praying during a wedding, I probably won't take pictures. I think I pulled it up here to take a shot really quick, but typically I don't take pictures during prayer. And one thing I always do during the ceremony, I have a Sony A7IV. The shutter is decently loud, right? So I always go silent shutter during the ceremony. That's to not be a distraction. So a shot I always get, I get a shot of the full bridal party, all the groomsmen, all the bridesmaids all together. They always seem to appreciate that shot. And then I try to get a couple shots of the bride and groom as they're up at the altar, just candid reactions. Now, something that they did during this wedding is that the officiant wrote out a wedding, like a love story for them, and she read it during the ceremony. So I had a second shooter off to the right side, and then a third shooter off to the left side. And I told them before the ceremony, I said, hey, they're reading a love story. Make sure you get crowd reactions, and I'm going to focus on the couple. So their gallery was full of people laughing and smiling, and as the story is being told. So make sure if you do have other shooters, communicate what's going to happen so you know for sure what type of gallery that you want to deliver to said client. And here I'm just gonna back up. I get this shot at every wedding. This is just a wide shot of the entire ceremony. I love getting this shot. Sometimes if there's not too many people, I'll get low and get kind of like a cinematic worm's eye shot. But because I wanted to get the whole bridal party in there, I just got a standard height wide shot. And I'll try to get candids of the guests. And this is another reason why I'm on silent shutter, because if I was not on silent shutter, she might have looked at me because she would hear the shutter. So I like being on silent so that I can be more of a ninja and get more candid reactions. So here I'm going over to the right side of the ceremony area. As you see, I have my third shooter there, and she's getting crowd reactions, but I wanted to come over here to get a different angle for the bride and for the bride angle. And I just wanted to get some candid reactions of her as she is having her, their love story being read or whatever. And also just, you know, some people say like, you know, you have other shooters, like just trust them to do the thing. And I do trust my shooters, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm getting the shots that I know I need, even though I asked them to get it just in case, because maybe they have a different angle that I want or whatever. And so it's better to have, like I said, more variety than not. So then I go over to the other side of the ceremony area, and then I get a shot of the groom's perspective from the story being read. And this story went on for a while, so we're going to actually go ahead and fast forward to kind of the tail end of the ceremony when they do the ring exchange and the first kiss. And so for the ring exchange, again, capture things as they happen. Nothing really to it. Just take a picture of the hands. I mean, it's really not much to it. If you want to take a full body picture, then you can probably crop in, duplicate the photo, crop in, and then you have a picture of them wide body or full body, and then you have a picture of just the hands. So, you know, kind of decide what you want to do on your own with that. But ring shots or ring exchange is super simple. Just don't overthink it.
Rebecca and Jeff, as you begin your new adventure as husband and wife, I want to share a reading that captures what real love looks like in everyday life. It comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. These words remind us that love isn't about perfection, it's about patience, kindness, and forgiveness. Rebecca and Jeff, may these promises be the foundation you return to again and again as you grow together. As Rebecca and Jeff begin their chapter together, they'd like to thank you all for sharing in their special day. After the ceremony, they'll step out for a few photos, and while they do, you're invited to enjoy cocktails in Governor's Hall. And now, with great joy, in the presence of God and your loved ones, by the power given me, but most of all by the power of your love, I pronounce you husband.
And obviously one thing you can never screw up is the first kiss. Now, I am unconventional. When I shoot my first kiss, I don't shoot on a high burst mode. I'm always on burst mode low because I don't want 1,000 pictures of the same thing. I just make sure I time it right, and usually I'm good. I've never missed the first kiss, so I must be doing something right, all right? Also, one thing you want to keep in mind for the first kiss, if there's an officiant, make sure you have a conversation with the officiant prior to the ceremony and say, hey, when you announce a man and bride or whatever, move out the way. And so yeah, from here is another important piece because you're getting the recessional. Again, you're just capturing things as they happen, as they're walking towards you. Make sure you're just backing up and staying at a good distance away. I'm always on a wide angle on this, so if you have a 24-70, you probably want to stay around like 28 or 35. I'm shooting this on my 35 because I don't want to get a lot of distortion or anything on the wide angle lens, and I just want to make sure everything's in frame. Dip kiss, gotta get the dip. If you don't get the dip, quit your job, JK. This is actually my second shooter's dip kiss, which I really like.
Going up.
And as they're walking away, I like to get a semi-cinematic shot just of them kind of whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's the ceremony. And that's it. That's how you shoot a wedding ceremony. Honestly, it's probably one of the easier times of day of a wedding to shoot. But just because it's one of the easier times of the day of a wedding to shoot doesn't mean it's all the way easy. Like, you can still easily mess up just as much as you can easily shoot it. So I want y'all to be intentional about what you're doing. Make sure you always keep your eyes peeled for reactions, and make sure you build a cohesive gallery, and just make sure you communicate if you do have second and third shooters to make sure they know what to do and what to get in order to build a cohesive gallery for your clients. All right, so if this video was of some value to you, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Be a lot more content like this where this came from. All right, leave me a comment down in the description below. Also, if you made it to this point, drop your New Year's resolution, I guess. Yeah, New Year's resolution. Or drop what you want for Christmas. One of the two. I don't know. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, peace.